Hey, it's your girl B.Reel, and I'm thanking you so much for joining me for another moment in the meantime. I hope and I pray that your day has gotten off to an amazing start. And of course, if it hasn't, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay, girl. We still got some more time left in the day for everything to be exactly what you're hoping it's going to be for today, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and just jump in. First of all, let me apologize. I gotta apologize because I completely ghosted last week. I had to, y'all. Let me tell you why I had to ghost. I had to ghost because that news about our cultural icon, um, multi championship winner, multi MVP, Olympic gold medalist, father, husband, Kobe Bryant, y'all. That news about him passing in a helicopter crash, it just messed me up. I crashed, okay? Um, I just crashed and I didn't feel that it was appropriate for me to post an episode. I just I crashed, and so I just have to be honest with y'all and tell y'all that I just couldn't do it. Like I just couldn't do it. I tried a couple of times to um, start recording an episode, and I literally just sat here and I cried because I was just just thinking about his family and thinking about his teammates and thinking about you know I mean, just me being in the culture, watching him be this dope person who not only just played ball, but like inspired people. And so it just made me very reflective, and I just needed to get my life together because I couldn't do it. Yeah, one thing though that I can say, and I ain't gonna act like I'm just like, hallelujah, I'm glad about it today. But I am just at a point where it's like, okay, Brittany, come on now, get your life together because his family is going through it way worse than what you thinking or what you feeling right now. But sometimes when you're empathetic, it's just kind of hard because my prayers have really, really, really been with his family in this time, and even just the families of everybody who was lost. So that's my Kobe Bryant spiel. He was amazing, and um, no words can really make you feel better about that. So, yeah, I will say that if you were grieving, although you've never met him, never shook his hand, never hung out with him, I just want to say that that's cool. Like, it's okay. Don't let nobody tell you, like, oh, you didn't know him. Like, don't. First of all, if you that person saying it, don't be that person because you don't understand how like people can impact you and they don't ever have to um, hug you or shake your hand or anything like that. And that's a goal of mine in life, is that at the end of my journey, I would like to have impacted someone even if I never met them. I would like for my legacy to be like, that girl was great and she wanted to help people, you know what I'm saying? So if you were having a hard time with it like I was, it's all right. Like, don't let nobody play you and be like, girl, sit down somewhere, because it's a real thing. So I did just want to say that and get that out there. But now that we're here, now that, I got a little juice in me so I can, you know, get my life back a little bit. I am back with a new episode, and that's what it is. I believe that we were talking about. Oh yeah. I don't want to say that shit. Anywho, look. So I'm trying to get my life together, right? just trying to, get in the groove of everything, trying to make my new spot a home. I got a job I'm trying to work, of course, and then I'm training for another job, trying to see if there any way I can do them both, because if I can, then I definitely will. Of course, trying to manage ITMT, trying to keep the podcast jumping. And so just really trying to see like, all right, God, these are the things that you have, given me the green light to do. So you got to give me grace to do it all. And so he was just telling me, well, first of all, how about you get a schedule? So just trying to figure out everything, see what needs to go where. And so as of right now, because that since day one with this episode, with this podcast, I've been telling y'all, like, I did a whole episode called I Don't Know What I'm Doing. So y'all have been very gracious with me in following me on this journey of like trying to be this podcaster and all that stuff like that. So first of all, thank you guys for that. I really, really, really appreciate it. I appreciate it when y'all DM me and be like, so where your episode at? Like, it really makes me feel like, it makes me feel good. So thank you. I think I have decided on doing a weekly episode. I think we had talked about that before, but I think we got it in stone now. We're going to do a weekly episode of Real Talk Today on Wednesdays. A midweek work to get us through the rest of the week, just to check in and just all that good stuff. So I'm believing that that's what we're going to do. If you're a church kid like me, Wednesday is Bible study day. So I guess that's kind of fitting for the podcast anyway. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing from here on out. Should there be a change? And of course, I'm going to tell you, because that's what I do. Okay. So let's just go ahead and jump in. We've been talking from Exodus, and we've been talking about the Israelites and how they fled from Egypt, and how Pharaoh, he just been doing the most, and all the Egyptians, first of all, they didn't start off here, but the height of the story is where we started, because I couldn't wait to get there, where God parted the Red Sea for Moses and the crew, and then the Egyptians followed up behind them and thought that the miracle belonged to them too, but then they got shamed, and so they died. The end. But there's so much to unpack in the story overall. And so we went back to the beginning of it. And in verse 1, I just wanted to remind everybody that, the Lord will always speak. And that's something that's very important, that we just know, like, God is not gonna get us out somewhere and just have us looking dumb. Like, he don't get us out without an instruction. Like, he's going to always let us know what to do. He's going to tell you when to go left. He's going to tell you when to go right. He's going to tell you when to stand still. He's going to tell you when to make a move. That's just the God we serve. And so if we'll silence ourselves, silence our minds, silence our thoughts, then we can actually hear the Father and hear what he's telling us to do, hear where he's telling us to go, what to say, when to be quiet, and all that stuff like that. So just I just wanted on the last episode to encourage you that, like, you don't have to try to figure out everything, because the Lord already has a plan. He already has the instruction for you, if you'll only stop and listen to what he is saying. So the Lord will always speak. And so today I got 3 hot points I want to go ahead and just pull out. And I'm going to do 3 points because we ain't going to talk again till next Wednesday. And so Exodus, and we're in chapter 14, and so we'll do verse 3, and I'll see where we're gonna stop at. Anyway, Pharaoh will think the Israelites are just wandering around. The desert is blocking their escape. First point right there, and I'm going to try to fly through these because the last point is very important to me. But Pharaoh will think the Israelites are just wandering around. A lot of times when you're dealing with enemies, when you're dealing with conflict, the antagonist to your story, the antagonist to your situation, that's just the person you into it with, or whatever is coming against you, the enemy himself, the enemy, the antagonist, person that's on your nerve, all that good stuff, however you want to address them, or the situation, because it's not always a person, sometimes it's a thing. But whatever is coming against you, whomever is coming against you, sometimes they'll think that they know your moves. They'll think that they got you down packed or whatever. And so if you're like me, and it's a personal thing that I try to work on, because big stuff really don't bother me. It's just a confessional. Big stuff don't bother me, but small stuff will. Oh my God. When you, it's the small things that'll really get me riled up. And so that's something I'm praying about, because, I'm praying about it. So God is really, that's something he's currently working on me with, and so, yeah. But, sometimes the enemy will think that they know what you're doing. And it says here that Pharaoh will think the Israelites are just wandering around. And so sometimes, you may feel like you look silly. Sometimes you may feel like, Lord, I'm listening to you and I'm doing what you're telling me to do, but it doesn't look like I'm going anywhere. It doesn't look like I'm getting away from this situation, or getting away from this storm, or getting away from this trial, but when you're doing what God has told you to do, or when you're going in the direction he has told you to go in, you don't really have to worry about what your enemy is thinking about your moves. You don't have to worry about what they, because sometimes they'll be like, look at her, yeah, like, I'm trying to make sense, but you don't have to be concerned about what they think or what they have spectated about your life, because at the end of the day, they can't make no move against you, without God's approval. They can't do anything. At the end of the day, your enemy is just not going to win. Like, that's a spoiler. Like, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, they're not going to win. But, sometimes they will get to thinking that they know your move. They will get to thinking, or just looking at your moves and just kind of thinking like, man, she looked dumb. Like, she's stupid. And so, like, when Pharaoh was looking at the Israelites, like, they hadn't escaped or whatever, but it's just like, look at them out there wandering around. Like, what is happening? But they had no idea that although it looked like the Israelites were wandering around, they were actually wandering up on their miracle. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, first point, just, keep doing the thing that you have been told to do. And it doesn't matter what it looks like to anybody else, because at the end of the day, I can't talk. You just gotta like go and do, and like not be worried about what your enemies may be thinking about what you got going on. Okay. The next point, it says, I will make Pharaoh so stubborn that he will pursue them. Then because of what I do to Pharaoh and his entire army, I will receive honor, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. I don't really know. I didn't have this written down as a point, but just understand that, sometimes what you're going through, sometimes what's bothering you, sometimes the very thing that you want to end, it's not time for it to end yet, because God has allowed the struggle to be a part of your life, so that when he finally does end it, you will know that it has been ended for good. You will know that this thing has been taken care of, not so you can walk around and say, aha, I won, but so God can get his glory. And so that's one thing I'll just say, like, when we dealing with conflict, and I'm not really the type that talk about a lot of conflict. I don't even like conflict, but this is just kind of where God has me right now. And it's just like, sometimes when you're dealing with conflict, when you're dealing with problems and situations, it's very easy to get super fleshly. Because at the end of the day, even when you're praying, like, that's the thing, like, that's the tricky part when you're praying about it and you're like, okay, God, help me. Sometimes it can become a very fleshly type of situation, because you just like, when you see God start working for you on your behalf, it can get real aha-ish, like, what you thought, you know what I'm saying? And that's something God works on me too about, because I be like, oh, what you thought? I love God, so God look out for me, and now you're gonna die and you're gonna go to hell. But God be like, okay, Brittany, actually, I don't really want nobody to die and go to hell. So if you're happy that, like, That's literally something God's been currently working on me about. Just kind of like, yeah, like your goal as a Christian should be to see everyone saved, and if that's not your goal, if conflict has made you so upset that you really do wish to see them go to hell, then that's a problem. So anyway, just that was just like a little side piece. But whenever like you're dealing with conflict and stuff like that, and you got all this stuff going on, it's very important to understand that like the victory is not about you. The victory is all about God. It's all about Him getting the glory. So let's just try to purify our hearts where that is concerned. Yeah. But the next point I want to make, and so I hope those two made sense. I believe that they did, but I really wanted to say this next part I think is very important. When Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, was told that the people had fled, he and his officials changed their minds about them. They said, "What have we done? We've lost our slaves because we've let Israel go." And so this verse is so good to me. The next verse actually says, "So Pharaoh prepared his chariot and took his army with him. He took 600 of his best chariots as well as all the other chariots in Egypt, placing an officer in each of them. The Lord made Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, so stubborn that he pursued the Israelites who were boldly leaving Egypt." This is what I want to tell you today. This is something that, like I said, I think when we started this, I told you guys that I've been studying this lesson for like well over a year, because it's something that God wanted me to get all of these principles deep down in my soul, because, he needed your girl to understand. Okay. But, this is good. Okay. And hear what I'm about to say. And I'm this girl right here. I believe in forgiveness. I believe in love. I believe in reconciliation, all that good stuff. Like, I am that girl. Okay. There's there's like this post that goes around. I've talked about it a few times where it says, forgiveness does not require reconciliation. And so even when I saw that, like, because I don't like for people to always think that you're supposed to cut ties. So I like to challenge that sometimes and be like, okay, well, what if forgiveness does require reconciliation? Like, are you strong enough to do that? Are you strong enough to like reunite with the person that hurt you? Like, are you, like, what if God did tell you to like get back with that person that hurt you? Like, could you do that? So I'm the person, I always kind of like to challenge that thought or whatever. But something that God has to explain to me is that like there is a time for reconnections, and then there's a time to get your keys and start your bus. That's what we used to say in junior high school when you were like, the other team was about to lose the game. We'd be like, get your keys and start your bus. Anyway, that just meant leave and don't come back. So anyway, but what if when you get away from a situation, when you get away from a person, when you get away from a job, when you get away from a career, when you get away, what if you really did stay away? And I say that because sometimes, we get caught up in the dip back. And what is the dip back? The dip back is just simply when you go back to something you should have never been in the first place. The dip back can come in the form of a trifling ex-boyfriend. The dip back can come in the form of going back to a job, or like, how maybe like you decided like, no, I'm going to quit this job and I'm going to pursue, I'm going to go ahead and start my business and blah, blah, blah. And then the job is like, look, no, I will pay you X, Y, and Z more than this so that you can stay here. But good and well, God already told you don't be at this job anymore. And then you decide, well, I can give it another year or two, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And so now you have gotten yourself tied back up in something that you should have been away from, and this and that. So it can come in different forms. Like I said, I cannot talk today. It can be a relationship, it can be a career, it can be a job, it can be a friendship, but I want you to consider this thought, that your bondage is profitable to somebody. Okay? Your bondage is profitable to somebody. Your bondage is profitable to somebody. The Egyptians, they knew that the Israelites were gone, and it was just like, all right, whatever. But then after so long, it says that they asked the question, what have we done? What have we done by letting them leave? And so if you think about it, it's like, okay, so that's where they like packed up all that stuff. They got on their chariots and like, let's go get them back because we need them here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that they wanted to get the Israelites back so they could treat them right. They didn't want to get them back so they could have a come to Jesus and be like, you know what? Listen, you guys do such great work that now we would like to pay you guys what you're worth. And yes. No, that is not why they were trying to get the Israelites back. They were trying to get the Israelites back because they benefited from the Israelites being their slaves. Let me tell you something. One of my jobs that I had years ago is the job that really got me interested in like entrepreneurship. It was one of my favorite jobs, like to this day. Like I still vividly remember going to that job every single day of my life. And there was this thing, workforce would send free labor to the business, right? And so the owners would absolutely love it when workforce would send workers to do free labor at the business, because that meant that the owners were able to cut costs on their payroll. They would send employees home early, because we don't need you here. We got free labor. You know what I'm saying? And so when you got free labor, like that is very beneficial. And so you have to wonder, you have to ask yourself, like, who benefits from my bondage? Like they were like, okay, no, we got to go get them Israelites back because I don't know what they thought, but we need them here. They need to be our slaves, period. And so you have to ask yourself, like, when somebody is running up behind you trying to get you back, why is it? When you get that I miss you text, why do you miss me? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you miss me as a person? Do you miss my heart? Or do you miss what I could do for you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be very, very, very careful. And I know that, especially us females, like that moment you get that hey text from that dude, you be like, you get that screenshot, you put that mug in your group chats, and you like, look at this, hey. But it's just like, why? Probably the worst thing somebody can ever tell me is that they miss me, and I'm gonna keep it all the way high, because when you tell me you miss me, I be like, why? And it's, and some people are genuine when they say it, but those people who ain't genuine, I legit be like, why? Why do you miss me again? And like I'm saying, and I'm not trying to encourage you to be a jerk, okay? And that's not the end goal of this episode. But what I am really just wanting you to understand is that if you get free and stay free, then somebody's phone bill ain't gonna get paid. You understand what I'm saying? Are y'all following me? If you get free and stay free, somebody who never deserved it in the first place, somebody ain't gonna be getting no cutty. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? If you get free and stay free, then somebody might have to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet. See, your bondage is literally beneficial to somebody. And so whenever somebody is coming behind you and they're saying, baby, come back, it's not always because they have the purest intentions. And so that's where we have to ask the Father, like, help me, God, help me to know the difference between, like, do I reconcile with this person, or do I need to get my keys and start my bus? You know what I'm saying? And so we just really have to understand, and we really have to be ready to ask God what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because, when you get free, man, you got to stay free. Because even if you go back to an old situation or an old job, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to go back, because sometimes going back is a part of the plan. But when you go back, you still got to stay free. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking in terms of the Israelites because they didn't go back. They knew better. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, they finna make us a slave. I ain't going back. But like in your life, like in your relationships, in your jobs, your careers, all that good stuff. Like when you getting like summoned back, like why? Like, are you benefiting from me being in bondage, or can you handle the free me? Like, that's what you got to ask yourself. Like, before I go back, can this person handle the free version of me? Before I go back to this place, can they handle the free version of me? Before I go back to this ex, can he handle the free version of me? Before I go back to this old job, can they handle the free version of me who not about to be dealing with anxiety all day at work? Can they handle that me? Or do they want me stressed out? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask yourself these questions because somebody is benefiting. Okay, somebody is benefiting from you being in bondage. Somebody is benefiting from you being in bondage. So today, I want you just to understand. I want you to really get it in your heart and get it in your mind that like, nah, when I get free, I'm staying free. And even if they try to pursue me, like the Egyptians tried to pursue the Israelites, I'm going to let them run up behind me and I'm going to trust God to take them out. Okay, because I got to stay free. And so that's the encouragement today. That is just stay free. Like stay free, stay free, stay free. And this is something I'm saying to you, like stay free. And it's something I tell myself every day. There's never a time that I'm, saying anything to you guys that I ain't already said to myself. Nah, Brittany, you got to stay free from that. Like, nah, that almost took you out. Nah, you didn't have no life when you was doing that. Stay free. Stay free. Stay free. He miss you. God freed you from that. Don't respond back to that. Nah, block him from your DM because he didn't know what to do when he had you, Brittany. What are you gonna do now? Get your keys and start your bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta know when to just stay free and know, like, nah, I can't reconnect with you. I can't do it because you are a hindrance to my freedom. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to get back in bondage of this so that you can benefit. You're going to take from me. You gaining, but I'm losing. That's not what it's supposed to be. Okay. So that's what it is today, guys. And I pray that it resonates. I pray that, I pray that it resonates with you and send me some feedback because I'll be wanting to know what y'all saying about everything or whatever. But that's what it is. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me now at B.Reel. If you put REAL, you're not going to find me there. So go ahead now and follow me. Also follow my ITMT pages _ITMT_. If you have not joined the ITMT text family, go ahead and do that now. Just text the letters ITMT to the number 31996 and that will get you plugged into the ITMT family. In the meantime, just remember that you're loved, you're chosen, you're beautiful, you are enough. And I think you're kind of dope too, you know what I'm saying? So until the next time, y'all be easy. And I will talk to you guys on next week. All right? Bye.